All right, let's get right into it. We're going to tackle a massive question that so many companies are wrestling with, especially if you're in a specialized field like life sciences. How in the world do you use all this incredible AI power without, handing over the keys to your kingdom? So today, we're going to lay out a real practical strategy for building your company its very own secure, private AI brain.
So picture this. Not too long ago, I'm at a life sciences conference, and this panelist says something that just perfectly captures the fear that's out there. He basically said that smaller biotechs are stuck. Their intellectual property, their secret sauce, is way too valuable to just feed into a public tool like ChatGPT. But they don't have the budget to build their own giant model from scratch. And on the surface, that sounds pretty convincing, doesn't it?
But here's the thing. That line of thinking is not just a little off, it's dangerously wrong. It's exactly the kind of assumption that makes really innovative companies fall behind, because the rules of the game have totally changed. It's not about company size anymore.
And that brings us to the first big idea we need to wrap our heads around. Your competitive advantage is not a gigantic budget. It's the readiness of your data. See, you don't need an AI that knows everything about everything. You need an AI that knows everything about your world, your specific corner of the universe.
Think of it like this, okay? Big data is the entire ocean. It's massive, it's deep, and honestly, it's full of a lot of noise and junk you just don't need. But small data, that's your private swimming pool. It's your lab notebooks, your clinical trial results, all your unpublished research. Yeah, it's smaller, but it is incredibly dense with the unique insights that actually move your business forward.
So how do you tap into that private pool securely? Well, the key piece of tech here is something called Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or just RAG for short. Now, the best way to understand this is to think of it as giving the AI an open book exam. Instead of trying to retrain the entire AI model, which is crazy expensive, you just give it access to your secure library of documents. So, when you ask it a question, the first thing it does is go look up the answer in your books.
And this whole open book approach, it gives you 3 game-changing advantages. First, and this is the big one, zero leakage. Your proprietary data never leaves your secure system. It stays put. Second, no hallucinations. The AI can't just invent answers because it's forced to base everything on your actual documents. And third, you get a full audit trail. Every single answer it gives is cited, so you can click and see exactly which file it pulled the information from.
And that no hallucinations point? This isn't just a small tweak. We are talking about a 70 to 90% drop in the AI making stuff up when it's grounded in your company's own data. That's a huge deal. It's the difference between a fun toy and a serious, reliable, professional tool.
So here's the bottom line. You are essentially turning a brilliant, creative storyteller into your company's most knowledgeable and fact-based employee. It just stops making stuff up.
Okay, so the theory is powerful, for sure. But how do you actually make it happen? Let's break down 3 secure ways you can put this into practice, like today.
First up, you've got zero retention APIs. This is where you use a top-tier model, like one from OpenAI or Anthropic, but you do it through an enterprise agreement that legally and technically stops them from using your data for training. Option 2 is private inference. This is really the gold standard for security. You take a powerful open-source model, like Llama 3, and run it completely inside your own firewall. Your data never even touches the public internet. And the third option, which is kind of the ultimate goal, is a sovereign knowledge base. This is your company's own proprietary brain built on your small data that only your team can ever access.
Now, building that sovereign brain might sound intimidating, but it's not magic. It's actually a pretty clear, manageable workflow. It's all about turning that pile of static files, what I like to call your data graveyard, into a living, active asset for your whole company. It really boils down to 5 steps. 1, you do an inventory. You figure out where your most valuable information lives, the lab notes, the trial data, the internal research. 2, you start indexing. And the key here, the most important advice, is to tag new documents as you create them. Just tag as you go. It'll save you a world of pain later. 3, you set up what's called a vector database. It sounds technical, but it's just a tool that turns your documents into a format the AI can search instantly. 4, you bring in the AI using one of those secure methods we just talked about. And 5, you monitor and expand. You test it, you check its accuracy, and you slowly grow its knowledge across different departments. Okay, so I know what you might be thinking right about now. This sounds cool, but isn't it just safer to wait a bit, let the tech mature, let the dust settle? And you know what? That's a totally fair question.
But here's the tough reality, especially in a field that moves as fast as biotech. Waiting is the single most expensive strategy you can adopt. Why? Because the cost and the time it would take to go back and properly organize and tag years of old research is just astronomical. If you start now, you're making your company plug-and-play ready for whatever incredible AI comes next.
And that usually leads to the second big question. Okay, fine, but what about the cost? Is this super expensive? Do I need to go out and hire a whole team of data scientists to pull this off? And the answer to that is you used to, but not anymore. The landscape is changing so fast it's unbelievable. I mean, just look at this. The cost of running your own private, specialized AI model is projected to drop by about 80% just in the next couple of years. This stuff is quickly becoming as affordable as a standard software subscription.
So, let's tie this all together. Why is it so absolutely critical to start getting your data house in order right now, even if you don't plan on deploying a full AI system tomorrow? Because this is not just about a cool new piece of tech. Your data is your future valuation.
The payoff is just enormous. For starters, you're going to accelerate your R&D. Just imagine an AI finding a hidden connection between a failed experiment from 5 years ago and a brand new discovery. Second, if you're ever looking to get acquired or partner up, an AI-ready dataset is a massive asset. Big Pharma doesn't just buy your molecules anymore. They buy your organized intelligence. And finally, you are future-proofing your entire company. You're moving from that static data graveyard to a living, dynamic knowledge base that gets smarter every day.
And this really brings us to the final and I think most crucial takeaway. The way to think about this is not, I need an AI, so I guess I need a data strategy. It's the other way around. You don't build a data strategy because you have an AI. You build a data strategy so that when the right AI inevitably arrives, you actually have something valuable to tell it.